what it was. Y'all know who it is. And, y'all tuned in with Priceless Knowledge of Self. And this right here, this ain't nothing but some cosmic insight. And say, man, have any of y'all seen that movie Machine Gun Preacher starring Gerard Butler? Hey, that's one of my favorite movies, y'all. And it's a bad motherfucker, man. In the movie, you have this dude who's a drug addict and an alcoholic and a real tough customer, just to say the least, who, you know, is going through it in life. And in going through it, he finds spirituality. And, he's very passionate about it. So passionate that, he takes up preaching on his own, man. And he wants to build a church of his own and not just any church. He wants to build a church in Africa. Yeah. He wants to go all the way to Africa and build a church. And he does so. And in doing so, he's met with a lot of resistance, man. Like, there's a lot of conflict and death and destruction and drama for him making this decision. But despite all that, he kept the faith. He stayed in it, stiff. And that's admirable. And that right there has a lot to do with people that have displacement. Matter of fact, he probably had displacement. Because this right here, this is a little something about those people that have Mars in the 9th house of their natal chart. Yeah. And see, before we even go there, if you don't know my style, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to tell you a little bit about Mars. I'm going to give you a quick breakdown of the energy that comes along with it and how it might affect you. Then after that, we're going to talk a little bit about what the 9th house of the astrological chart is all about. Then after that, we're going to bring it to a climax, which fortunately for you, this is what I do best, man. So without wasting any more of anyone else's time, let's get it cracking. So Mars, this is the 4th planet from the sun, and it rules the sign of Aries in the 1st house of the astrological chart. And to a lesser degree, if you ask more traditional astrologers, including myself, it also co-rules the sign of Scorpio in the 8th house of the astrological chart. And hey, Mars most definitely comes into our chart and calls us to action. That's because it rules over energy and passion and drive, as well as our inherent sense of determination. And it really commands us to stand up, be noticed, and get some shit done, because sitting on the sidelines, that belongs somewhere else in the heavens, man. That wallflower shit, this ain't that, man. Mars also rules over the military, but more simply put, it speaks to the power and confident expression of each one of us individually. And ambition, competition, those both fall under Mars umbrella as well. And Mars also could represent our stamina, and whether it be at work or at play, it wants us to be at our best when facing challenges. And that's because Mars is confrontational. Oh, this is the most confrontational energy there is. And in a birth chart, it represents our sense of aggression. It also represents our sense of addressing aggression when aggression is brought in our direction. Okay. Try that on for a tongue twister. But, hey, man, it also can represent sex drive, especially in men. But I feel like whether we're talking about men or women or masculine or feminine energy, it speaks to how you move. This is how you like to get down. This is your preferred method of action. Okay. And in some cases, this also shows how you like to be handled. Okay. So that's worth looking at. And hey, man, wherever Mars shows up in our chart, it shows where we assert ourselves physically, and it shows how we channel our aggression and our sexual passion in this drive. Okay. I mean, in this life, pardon me, y'all. And so the 9th house, I love the 9th house, man. My son is in the 9th house, so you could probably consider me a 9th house person. But, the 9th house for me is all about philosophy, man. And it's ruled by Jupiter, and the search for meaning is what takes precedence here. And, you know, that really boils down to understanding what we see and feel by virtue of exploring new experiences. That's why, you know, the 9th is also about higher education, psychology, theology, and all things involved with our voyage for discovery, man. For me, the 9th is the house of spirituality. This is where God lives. Or, at the very least, this is where you find something much greater than yourself, which that could also include the laws that we govern ourselves by, or the systems that we govern society by. Not so much as, you know, political systems, because that's more Saturn's domain. No, what I'm talking about are universal principles that should be inherently understood. You feel me? The 9th is also all about foreign culture and long distance travel and pastors, professors, psychologists, astrologers, psychics, philosophers. They're all found here, man. Additionally, the ninth house is also all about publishing and import and export businesses. And it really takes on a multi-generational view because it also talks about the grandparents and the in-laws and our relationships with such. Okay. And, yeah, I don't know if I said this earlier. It's ruled by Sagittarius too. So, hey, man, we're taking Mars and we're putting Mars in the ninth house. Well, see, this one is really incredibly interesting to me because the ninth is a fire house, which, you know, that really feels familiar to Mars. However, the ninth is also a Caden house. So, you know, now you have the planet of action in the physical world being forced to operate on a mental level. But hey, I say despite all that, man, as long as it ain't afflicted, I promise this is actually a pretty awesome placement for Mars in the birth chart. And understand that there's a lot of different ways that this could manifest. But the one thing I have seen that all the people with this placement have in common is this inherent passion for knowledge. Cause hey, this placement right here, it indicates people who put a lot of effort into learning. And, you know, that's throughout their whole lives, man, throughout their whole lives. And they usually end up quite scholarly because of that right there. And beyond that, hey, a ninth house Mars typically suggests a highly motivated individual who's optimistic and full of enthusiasm. And the later it is in degree, you know, and the closer it is to that actual midheaven, the more emphasized it's going to get and the more ambition that's going to be added into the mix with that. So a lot of them are going to often end up choosing a career that might be related to Mars too in that case, like engineering or the military or boxing or MMA or sports or even a surgeon. Okay. Cause people always like to leave that out when they're talking about Mars. But either way they go with that, man, it would signify a person that has extremely high expectations in life and they really strive to achieve their goals. So I really check the sign that's Mars in and see where exactly it's located at. And, you know, that'll probably let you know what's up in that regards. And, let's also not forget that the ninth is the house of travel in astrology. So Mars here also indicates a travel for that too. And in some cases, these people right here could actually end up living abroad, but be careful. Okay. Cause Mars here could actually point to some really dangerous situations and conflicts and pain in doing so when you get wherever you're going overseas. That's what it does point to here. That's keeping it true. Okay. And hey, man, I'm telling you now, these motherfuckers here have a lot of energy, y'all. And don't get it twisted, man. Hey, they really are going to need some type of physical outlet for that, man. Some type of physical activity or sport or something. Okay. That could really be a big help in finding a way to channel that in a constructive way. Best believe. And, if you don't, it's going to come out as aggression. And, this is fire on fire. So shit could get real fiery. Which, if you cool with that, if that's your thing, man. You know, none of us really want that Jupiter-Mars nuclear fallout though. I don't think you want that, man. And, going back to what I was kind of touching on a second ago, these folks right here are probably some of the most passionate people that there are, especially when it comes to education or when it comes to the things that they believe in. Okay. This is somebody that will fight you over their beliefs. Understand that? So don't disrespect it. Hopefully they don't try to impose it on you and disrespect your beliefs, but, don't disrespect theirs. Don't disrespect theirs and, make sure that you don't disrespect their knowledge, man. Cause these people right here, they firmly believe that knowledge is the most formidable weapon that there is. Nah, man. These are independent thinkers right here who absolutely cannot stand when a motherfucker has no references to back up the shit that they claim either. I was just thinking about that, man. They really don't, man. That'll fucking piss them off. And that's just being real with you, man. And look, hey, these are usually really well-educated people. And with Mars, a lot of them are actually college graduates. But, you know, that don't necessarily have to be the case every time, man. This just means that knowledge is a true source of power in these people's lives. Because, you know, it's really something that constantly reminds them of how strong they are. And it pushes them to keep searching no matter what. And due to that right there alone, a lot of them develop into this person who's both highly intelligent and capable of seeing the big picture, which, hey, to me, that's a superpower in itself. Hey, that's real, man. That's a superpower in itself. But if you couple this passion that they have for knowledge with that infectious enthusiasm of theirs, man, you could also probably see why these make some of the best teachers and preachers that you'll ever see, man, that you'll ever see. You know, these are people that really can make you share their passion with them, man. They really can, man. And, you know, it's really a thing to behold to see a person with Mars in the 9th house get up on their soapbox. It really is, because they're going to go hard then. Especially if this is like a Mars in Leo or Sagittarius or Gemini. Cause, whoo, whoo, that's passion, man. And just let me sum this up for you, man, cause Mars really does show where we invest the most energy in our birth chart. And when it's placed in the 9th house, this comes down to the pursuit of knowledge. So new ideas, this is going to be something that's incredibly fascinating to these people, especially in fields that are related to the 9th house. However, this placement can also make a motherfucker prone to being way too motherfucking self-righteous and thinking their opinion is the only one that matters, or their ideas are the best ones every single time. So when that shit comes, then conflicts arise, man. And especially when somebody has a different opinion than them, or they say something that they feel like undermined what the fuck they said. So let's not do that. But hey, even if it don't play out like that, just because you built like that, you don't have to build like that. Oh, I almost left this out. This also could indicate that, you know, conflict with the in-laws right here. This does not usually show a good relationship with the in-laws. It shows that y'all might be butting heads. And if it's not that case, it could just show that your in-laws are very passionate people, or they're very argumentative people, or it could show that one of them or both of them have strong Aries placements. And the same thing goes for the grandparents with this one. Okay. So that's something to think about. I left that out. But like I said, man, just because you built like that, you don't have to build like that. And what I mean is we all have all this energy available to us. What you do with it is what you do with it. And even beyond that, it's not about what you do. It's about how you do it. And that's some priceless knowledge in itself. And this been some priceless knowledge of itself. Hey, I appreciate all the love and support, man. If y'all fuck with me on any level, you need to be hitting that like button right now. You can hit the dislike button if you want, but you a hater then. Okay? You should hit the like button right now, because I know I went hard. I put a lot of work and passion into this. Hey, if you're interested in astrological readings whatsoever, you can either hit me up in the comments below, or you can email me at mr.turner1300@gmail.com. Okay? Y'all keep it real, man, because that's all I'm going to do.